What's up, everybody? What's up, MGTOW? I just wanted to talk a bit about this whole Communism Grey plan for the black community, quote unquote. Now, I've got some questions, and there are some logical inconsistencies with this supposed plan. First of all, it's just really ironic, hilarious, however you want to look at it, that a black guy is proposing a eugenics plan for the black community. Basically, he's claiming that a certain percentage of black people don't deserve to live, and there's this wheat in the chaff, and he's going to separate the wheat from the chaff, and the chaff is just going to die off, and the wheat is going to become so much stronger. And he's got some good rhetoric, but overall, it's just a fascist, communist plan. And I just find it very interesting that, of course, obviously, the person that's proposing this plan of commu-fascism is also the most suited to be the leader of this group of people. Of course, of course you're going to be the leader. You're going to tell everybody else what to do. So, of course, the plan sounds great. I mean, sure, I'm going to be the King of England. Who's going to join me? It sounds great. Everybody kneel before me, and then we'll have a great and prosperous nation. No, that's not how it works. And of course, as we've seen through history, communism just doesn't work, or pure communism. Strong socialism does work, but pure dictatorial fascism doesn't work, and dictatorial communism doesn't work. You can't just force people to work at gunpoint or force people to do stuff at gunpoint, because eventually they get tired of it. And so that kind of brings me to my first question is, do you understand force versus incentives? Because in a free market and in a free world where people are free to choose, at least up to their limitations, incentives, or providing incentives for people to do certain actions and not subsidizing other actions, seems to be the best course of action, as opposed to, as you're saying, forcing people at gunpoint and all this other stuff. The group's going to gang up on you and force you to do whatever. That only works for so long, because if you look at the physics of society, there's always going to be more quote-unquote losers than winners. So the 2/3 that you're talking about, if you look at it from a pyramid structure, it's not really 2/3. It's really going to end up being similar to how society's already structured, where there's like a top 10% and then another middle 30%, and then the rest of the people are going to be at the bottom, or the 2/3, as you're saying. So there's going to be more 2/3 than there's going to be of the other 1/3, or whatever the fuck. It's ridiculous, because then that group will be bigger than your group, and then maybe they'll all team up against you and force you to not do whatever you're planning on doing. Now, I listened to this whole live stream between Obsidian and Communism Grey, and I just had some thoughts, and mainly some things that he wasn't talking about, he wasn't bringing up. Because one of the main problems that MGTOW and Ibmore and people in the manosphere in general, besides this guy, are talking about is the lack of male authority. And with your plan, or with his plan, he's basically saying he's going to take away all male authority. Not only will you not have authority over your wife or your girlfriend, but you won't have any authority over any decisions that you make, and all of your decisions have to be beneficial to the group. Which, of course, in theory, the rhetoric, it sounds great. Everybody working for everybody else and everybody helping everybody else. But the problem comes when reality comes in, and you find out that some people are more productive than other people, some people are more likable than other people, and so therefore some people are going to have more. And then you're going to have to redistribute what some people have to the other people. And that's going to piss off the people that have more, produce more, are more likable. And so by taking away any authority that people have to make decisions on their own life, because I can imagine, you're going to have to all dress the same and talk the same and have the same haircut and walk the same and everything the same, because that's how communism works. People are going to get tired of that too. People like to express themselves and have freedom of speech, freedom of association, all that type of stuff. It's just a natural inclination of people. And also, the profit motive and greed is also a natural inclination of people. So this whole force thing where you're just telling people, oh, you better do what's good for the group, otherwise I'm going to skin you alive, or whatever the fuck that guy's saying. I mean, it's just stupid, because you can't have group authority. The group has to have a leader, so therefore there's going to be one person who is dictating their will to everybody else and saying what's good and what's bad for the group, which brings us back to black eugenics. Because really, what gives any one person the ability or the authority to decide who's a good and who's a bad person? I mean, sure, if somebody's committing violent crimes against people or scamming people, frauding people, that type of stuff, then yeah, they should be punished accordingly. But for you to just look at somebody and say, oh, you're not worthy to be in the group, or you're not good enough, and we're going to kill you off by cutting you off from the group, that's ridiculous. Because slowly and slowly, more and more people aren't going to fit into your stupid preconceived conception of what's good for the group and what's bad for the group. And also, I noticed that you were saying that everybody's got to put all their money into a pot, but you're the leader. So they're going to put all the money into the pot, and then you decide who gets money. That's how it works already. That's how the central bank works. They decide which businesses get loans, which businesses get to prosper. So basically, you're just saying that you want to reinstate the same system that we have, or an even worse system, something closer to Chinese socialism, but you're in charge, which is just hilarious because, I mean, isn't that what most people want to do? Most people, their complaint is not with the system. Their complaint is that they're not on top of the system. And that's why I like the libertarian view, where it's no masters, no slaves. Nobody's in charge. Nobody gets to decide who lives and who dies besides nature. Because once you start saying, oh, I'm the king, or I'm the ruler, or the commander, or whatever freaking stupid title you want to give yourself, might as well just call yourself God. And then say, oh, I get to decide who lives and who dies based on who's serving the group, but the group has to be within my will. The group has to do what I want. Get the fuck out of here. Nobody's electing anybody emperor of anything. No, it's not happening. So another question, and something that I found really just kind of disconcerting, was the fact that this guy, who's supposed to be part of the manosphere and seeing all the things that are happening to men in society, the pressures, the violence that's against men, would actually publicly come on a live stream, publicly, and say that he would kill, he would rip the skin from the back of any man who doesn't follow his plan. And he's claiming that his plan is voluntary to enter, but then at the same time, he's claiming that the group is going to be bigger than the individual, and therefore the group is going to force the individuals to follow the laws and commandments of the group. And one of the commandments of the group that he's claiming that he's going to instate is that all black men have to marry a black woman, no matter her attractiveness level or anything with her attitude or any of these contingent specifications that men have for who they would marry. He's just basically saying, well, if you're down in the lower part of the pyramid, then you have to marry a woman that's lower down in the pyramid too. And a lot of guys had objections with that. I have objections with that. I don't think anybody should be forced to marry anybody, male or female. But really, what concerned me the most about this is that this is very, gynocentric behavior, gynocentric thought process. Because if you're going to force men to marry women and work for the community and all that stuff and basically work at gunpoint and put all their productivity into a pot for you to distribute, are you also going to force women to suck dick? Are you going to force women to give up that pussy every day when her man comes home from work? I'm not sure if you are. But even if you are you willing to go on a live stream, a public live stream, in front of hundreds, if not thousands of people and state that? Are you willing to, in this gynocentric society, because it's fine to say that stuff about men, oh, I'm going to kill men, I'm going to string men up, but are you willing to do that in front of women in the public sphere? Are you willing to say, I'm going to rip the skin off of the back of any woman that does not suck her husband's dick? I'm going to use the force of the group and we're going to team up on any woman that does not give up that pussy. Will you say that? In public, in front of everybody, in front of women? Because I don't think that you're going to say that. I think that you're just going to say, oh, well, the women can do whatever they want and the men have to just kind of scoot behind them and pick up anything that comes along. And also, lastly, I guess, is just the question of this whole surveillance state and the fact that you're going to be forcing people to do stuff. Like, unless you live in a tiny, tiny town that's completely cut off from most outside forces and only has like one road in and one road out, it's going to be very difficult for you to maintain control over a large group of people. And so you're going to need technology and funds to run a surveillance state. And you're also going to need secret agents and secret societies and all that type of stuff that basically will be spying on people to see if they're following your rules or not and following all of your mandates and orders and commandments and whatever. But that's going to take a lot of technology and a lot of money. And we don't even have enough money to improve schools and improve healthcare and stuff like that. So I don't know how you're going to build from the ground up a surveillance state of technology where you can spy on people's cell phones and spy on their internet and basically just spy on them to make sure that they're following your rules. Because, all it takes is a few people getting together in secret to plan against you and then a couple people infiltrating your high-ranking group to pretty much destroy your whole group. And so I just don't see that as a viable option, because all of this talking about skinning people up and whatever, it sounds cool. It sounds great. Like, it sounds like, oh yeah, we're going to fix all the problems by forcing men to marry ugly women and take care of them. And then we're going to split up all the money in a pot. And then we're going to shoot anybody who doesn't follow the rules. So basically, you're taking the worst parts of communism and the worst parts of fascism and the worst parts of eugenics and combining them all together in a pot and then rebranding it as some type of new idea when it's really not a new idea. It's an old idea that you didn't make up. But like I said, it sounds great. It sounds like the way that the rhetoric is posed, it's all positive. It's all for the people, by the people, oh, the black people, and we're going to improve and this and that. It's not going to happen. It's not. Because, number one, the people that you need in your group the most, the successful, intelligent black people, they're already doing well within the United States system. So why, again, with the incentives, what is the incentive for, let's say, Magic Johnson, who's already rich beyond belief, to take all of his money that he has and all the women that he gets and get rid of all the women and take all his money and put it into a pot and give it to you so you can tell him that if he gets caught cheating on his wife or fucking some other women, that you're going to rip the skin off of his back. Like, where's the incentive for Magic Johnson? Where's the incentive for Floyd Mayweather to give up all of his women and give up all of his money and put it in a pot and give it to you? Just some guy on the internet that kind of sort of wants to instate communism and fascism on black people and eugenics on black people. You see how stupid this sounds? And then, so what? You're gonna employ the thugs and the Pookies and Ray Rays to shoot everybody that doesn't want to fall in line with your plan? Or like, it sounds really good. It sounds like, oh yeah, we're gonna fix this and we're gonna get everybody educated and everybody's gonna be in the military and we're gonna put the money together in a pot. But in reality, nobody's gonna go for that. And especially, like I said, the people that are intelligent, the people that already have money, why would they're already in a great position. Why would they want to change their position to put you in charge? Like, so that you could tell them that you're going to rip the skin off of their back if they break the rules that you made up. It's outlandish. It's ridiculous. But like I said, it sounds great. It sounds great on paper, but in reality, it's not going to work. So yeah, that's all I had to say on this topic. Everybody have a good day and go MGTOW.